Welcome back to the John and Linetia Show.
Thanks for tuning in to us for your up-to-date news and weather.
You're not on the TV or radio, silly.
But I'm practicing, for I have champagne dreams.
Yeah, but you have beer funds and no advertising.
So true. So very true.
Yeah, so true. Yikes. So, let's talk a little bit about the mayor of Chicago.
Your favorite person ever.
Mr. Rahm Emmanuel, or as I like to call him, Richie Daley II.
Richie Daley II. Daley 2.
He has once again, there's this credibility issue that he has. He announces something, it ends up basically being debunked or poo-pooed, or he has to backtrack.
Right.
He is just frequently wrong about certain things. So the most current thing has to do with the longer school day that the mayor has been pushing.
All over the news all the time.
Yeah. So currently schools are in session for almost 6 hours, just under 6 hours, 5 hours 45 minutes.
Okay.
And he wanted, beginning this fall, for schools to do 7.5 hours.
Wow.
And the thing is that he when he does his announcement, he brings out all these, he mentions all these studies and things like that. Well, the Chicago news media didn't do it, but a parents group vehemently protested. Actually, a group of parents, like about 16 parents groups, got together. And the thing is they looked at these so-called studies that said, 7.5 hours was a like a norm in the U.S. and to get on par, with other districts, 7.5 hours and all this. Excuse me. What the parents basically found when you took a look at those studies were a lot of those studies were inconclusive, and the 7.5 hours was not the norm. In fact, even those where the study was mentioned, the study said no way. So he's backed off 7.5 and has basically brought it down to 7. So we're talking about another hour and 15 minutes in school, for the kids.
Do we know if the kids start at 9 or 8:15 now? I don't know.
I'm not sure. I think that depending upon the grades, sometimes the grades have a staggered start and staggered end.
Okay.
They do that for like the busing.
Okay.
The buses, so that buses can come back.
Okay.
I believe.
Okay.
But I don't know much about the public schools.
Yeah, I don't know.
Other than what I see on TV. Welcome Back, Kotter. But
yeah, that was not real.
That movie, The Principal, with Louis Gossett Jr.
That's not real either.
Anywho, I just thought it's just fascinating because Rahm comes out and it's like bull in a china shop, and he keeps trying to throw out research and throw out, hey, studies and this like that. And he keeps getting proven wrong. And has to back down.
Let's not forget also that his kids are in private school.
Well, sure. His kids are in the charter schools. And I don't remember actually that they've got a 7. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, they don't have 7.5-hour days. And I think what's funny is the teachers union has in fact suggested that, well, why don't we just pattern everything based on the charter school that you put your kids in?
Right.
And he hasn't really responded to that.
Where's the guy? What's his name? Who's the head of the public schools? What's his name? I haven't seen him say anything about this. And Rahm brought him in. I forgot his name. I forgot his name.
Who is that guy?
Yeah, that guy.
It's not because Arnie Duncan is now
right. He's big time.
The head of schools.
Right, but he hasn't said anything. So why is it that the parents are protesting the longer day?
Well, because the parents are looking at it going, are you crazy? Having the kids in the school that long. I think the parents in general wouldn't mind it a little longer. And I kind of look at it and think, hey, if you're working 9 to 5, quite honestly, if the kid, is in school from, 9 to 3, hey, sure, keep them a little later, and then maybe I don't need to leave work early.
Or pay a babysitter.
Or deal with daycare or something like that.
But then also, this is keeping probably the kid, two things. It's keeping the kid from participating in after-school activities. You know what I mean? If
Well,
you're getting out 4 or 5, they can't go to football practice or something like that.
Are you against longer school day?
I'm not against a longer school day, but I think there should be a cap or something. Because the kid has got to have some type of release, I would think. And then when they get home, we don't want them too tired where they can't do their homework.
I guess so, yeah.
You know what I mean? And then, some kids are into basketball, football, band. I was a band person, bando, go band. And getting the band scholarship helped me through school. So you got to think about later on, too.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm not really against a longer day, but you just have to look at the whole perspective of the whole
thing. I'd
so,
say this. I'm against anything that Rahm Emmanuel wants to do where he throws out studies and facts.
Right. Because
those need to be checked and rechecked. And I think it's just sad that the Chicago media isn't doing it. I mean, these things weren't debunked right away in the mainstream media, and it's kind of a bummer.
Unless they're still trying to make Rahm look really, really good. Very, very possible.
Mayor Daley, too.
All right. So, I know a couple of days ago we talked about Ozzie again, his crazy stuff. But there was this crazy woman in the news. I just don't understand what happened in the situation. Mm-hmm. But this woman has been indicted for posing as a cancer-stricken bride.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
So this woman is in New York, and she's facing multiple fraud and larceny charges for allegedly pretending she has terminal cancer to get thousands of dollars from sympathetic donors to pay for an over-the-top wedding and honeymoon.
Seriously, terminal cancer. If you're going to fake cancer, fake something that possibly can be cured. Right, because at some point people are going to realize you haven't died.
So sad. I don't understand. This is a young person, and why would you want to pretend that you're ill?
Obviously she wanted to pretend she was ill to get the attention and to get the money.
That's so sad. She could get 24 years behind bars because of this.
And probably deserves it, we can be very generous as a people, and you see something like that, and you want to believe, and you don't want to ask questions. You want to be like, don't want to be like, oh, you've got terminal cancer. Well, before I give you some money, can you give me your doctor's phone number so I can check up?
So I can just.
I want to just make sure that you're going to die.
Exactly.
Okay.
Or can I go with you to the doctor and make sure?
Yeah.
I would like some paperwork behind this, and maybe I could give some money to the Cancer Society in your name.
Yeah. Can I pull out a clump of your hair? Your
a clump of your hair.
Well, because of the chemo.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So people, you don't want to be, that rude or anything like that. So you can understand how they get duped, but in the end, you know what? If someone's going to do that stuff, it's not like in the end, oh, I punked you. It was just for my wedding.
That's just so sad.
I hope she had a good time because maybe she'll get sentenced to prison and no conjugal visits, and
that won't happen. That's something else. I wonder. What about the guy, her groom?
Yeah, well,
her
you're
husband.
Right. Yeah,
and he might not have known anything about this.
He may not have, and who knows? Maybe she duped him to marry her because he thought, well, she'll be dead in a few years anyway, and what the heck?
I mean, they went to Aruba. My goodness, I have dreams of Aruba.
You need to fake terminal cancer.
No, that's okay. I'm just going to struggle and pay for it on my own.
Good idea.
So today's show was brought to you today by Miracle Whip. Just pour one of these wigs out of the jar, put it on, and go. Comes in rainbow, honey blonde, strawberry blonde, and pitch black.
You're listening to the John and Linetia Show.